Donald Trump's three oldest children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, each hold a unique place in the dynasty built by their dad. But while they appear to be united in support of their father, their dealings between each other reveal a different family dynamic. This is the truth about Ivanka's relationship with her brothers.
Ivanka, who has been less present on the campaign trail than her brothers, expected to keep more distance this term.
Ivanka Trump's relationship with her brothers, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, is anything but ordinary.
42-year-old Ivanka always stands by his side. She describes him as a complex father, but also the best in all aspects of his life.
Raised in the spotlight of their father's empire, they've shared moments of unity, sibling rivalries, and whispers of behind-the-scenes drama. While they often present a picture-perfect family bond, rumors of competition, power struggles, and contrasting ambitions tell a different story. From childhood ski races to navigating their father's presidency, their dynamic is a fascinating mix of loyalty, rivalry, and the pressures of being Trumps. Close in age, competitive childhood. Growing up just a few years apart, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were raised in the fast-paced, high-pressure world of Manhattan's elite. Born within 7 years of each other, their childhood was anything but typical. While many kids bond over playdates and backyard games, the Trump siblings' playground was the boardrooms of Trump Tower and the glamorous slopes of Aspen. From an early age, their father, Donald Trump, instilled in them a fierce competitive spirit. Whether it was racing down the ski slopes or negotiating imaginary business deals in their dad's office, the Trump kids were taught to always aim for the win. Ivanka once recounted a family ski trip where her dad hooked her jumpsuit with a ski pole to pull himself ahead in a race, a playful yet telling moment about the family's love of competition.
She's on a family vacation before becoming an unpaid advisor with her own office at the White House.
But the rivalry didn't end on the slopes. Even as children, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric were sizing each other up, whether in school, sports, or family activities. Ivanka has often joked that she acted like a boy growing up, refusing to be left behind by her brothers. Her determination to keep up with Don Jr. and Eric wasn't just a sibling quirk. It was a survival skill in a household where being competitive wasn't just encouraged, it was expected. While their upbringing forged a bond of shared experiences, it also planted the seeds for the sibling rivalries that would follow them into adulthood. For the Trump kids, childhood was more than just fun. It was preparation for the big leagues. Ivanka and Eric's bond. Ivanka Trump and Eric Trump share a special bond that goes beyond typical sibling relationships. While all three Trump siblings were close growing up, Ivanka and Eric's connection deepened during a challenging time in their lives, their parents' very public divorce. When Donald Trump and Ivanka Trump split in the early 1990s, the spotlight on the family was intense, and Eric, the youngest of the trio, was just a child. Ivanka, a teenager at the time, stepped into a nurturing role, helping Eric navigate the emotional turmoil of their family falling apart. Eric has spoken fondly of how Ivanka took him under her wing during those years. She not only acted as a protective older sister, but also tried to boost his confidence. Whether it was taking him shopping or helping him feel cool, Ivanka became a steady presence for Eric at a time when he needed it most. This bond carried over into adulthood, with Eric often coming to Ivanka's defense whenever she faced public criticism. From controversies during their father's presidency to moments when Ivanka was unfairly dragged into media firestorms, Eric was always quick to praise her. He's called her an amazing talent and applauded her dedication to their family and work. While rumors of rivalry swirl around Ivanka and Don Jr., her relationship with Eric has largely been described as one of mutual respect and support.
About some of the business dealings of Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr. Now, it turns out these two Trump children were actually working on a Soho development project.
Whether as kids facing the fallout of their parents' divorce, or as adults navigating the high-stakes Trump world, Ivanka and Eric's bond has remained strong and unshakable. Don Jr. as a mentor. Donald Trump Jr., the eldest of the Trump siblings, has always had a natural role as the mentor of the family. While growing up, his younger brother Eric Trump often looked up to him for guidance, especially during their parents' high-profile divorce in the early 1990s. With their family in the spotlight and emotions running high, Don Jr. took on a role that was equal parts big brother and protector, ensuring Eric could navigate their complicated world. Eric has openly praised Don Jr. for stepping up during those tough years. He once described his older brother as someone who passed down the wisdom he learned from their grandfather, Fred Trump, valuable lessons about business, loyalty, and standing your ground. For Eric, these lessons were not always obvious as a child, but Don Jr. made sure to keep those teachings alive, often acting as a bridge between the past and the next generation of Trumps. Even in adulthood, Don Jr.'s influence on Eric is evident. The two worked side by side at the Trump Organization, with Don Jr. taking the lead on many high-profile projects while mentoring Eric along the way. Their dynamic wasn't just about business, it was about building trust and a shared vision for the Trump legacy. Beyond business, Don Jr.'s confident, outspoken nature has often served as an example for Eric, especially during their father's political career. Whether through family challenges or public scrutiny, Don Jr. has remained a source of guidance and support for Eric, a mentor in every sense of the word. Sibling team at the Trump Organization. At the Trump Organization, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump weren't just siblings. They were a powerhouse team running their father's empire. As adults, the three worked side by side, managing massive real estate projects and building the brand that bore their family name. But while they presented a united front, their time at the organization wasn't without its fair share of competition and drama. The Trump siblings often collaborated on major deals, with each bringing their unique strengths to the table. Don Jr. was known for his bold, no-nonsense approach, often taking charge in negotiations. Ivanka brought her polished demeanor and strategic thinking, making her a favorite for high-profile meetings. Eric, the youngest, focused on operational details, ensuring projects ran smoothly. Together, they tackled multi-million-dollar developments, luxury hotels, and branding initiatives that cemented the Trump name globally. Ivanka once wrote in her book, The Trump Card, about how they would strategize before meetings, figuring out who was best suited to take the lead. She admitted that their father encouraged competition between them, often challenging them to outperform one another. This competitive edge may have fueled some sibling rivalries, but it also pushed them to excel as a team. Reported rivalry with Don Jr.
Hello everybody, David Schuster here. Donald Trump Jr. is now getting smeared by members of his own family, including his father, President Trump.
Behind the polished smiles and united public appearances, reports of a rivalry between Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump have captured public attention for years. While the Trump siblings are known for their shared ambition and loyalty to their father, insiders have long speculated that Don Jr. and Ivanka may not always see eye to eye, especially when it comes to power and influence within the Trump dynasty. The tension reportedly stems from their unique roles within the family. Don Jr., as the eldest, has often been viewed as the natural heir to the Trump legacy, especially in the business world and among their father's political base. Ivanka, on the other hand, has carved out her own path, leveraging her polished image and sharp intellect to position herself as a key figure, particularly during Donald Trump's presidency. The rivalry came into sharper focus during their father's time in the White House. While Ivanka served as a senior advisor and faced intense scrutiny, Don Jr. emerged as a firebrand on the campaign trail, rallying Trump's base. Media reports have claimed that this divide sparked behind-the-scenes power struggles, with rumors that each sibling's camp suspected the other of planting negative stories in the press. Despite these rumors, Don Jr. and Ivanka have publicly maintained a sense of sibling loyalty, often posting heartfelt birthday messages or family photos. Whether the rivalry is exaggerated or rooted in truth, one thing is clear: their shared ambition and drive have ensured both remain central to the Trump legacy. But behind closed doors, that's where the real intrigue begins. Jared Kushner's role. Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump's husband, is often seen as a quiet but powerful figure in the Trump family dynamics. His role in both the Trump Organization and the White House has sparked intrigue, particularly in how it's affected Ivanka's relationship with her brothers, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric. While Jared was working alongside Ivanka as a senior advisor in the White House, his influence over family matters seemed to grow, leading some to wonder if his presence created tension among the siblings. Many reports have suggested that Jared's involvement in the Trump administration may have contributed to behind-the-scenes drama. In fact, some insiders have claimed that Jared might have been the one to leak information about Don Jr.'s controversial Russia meeting to the press. This fueled the speculation that Jared, and by extension Ivanka, might have been trying to protect their own image while distancing themselves from any negative fallout that could affect their political futures. Jared's calm, calculated demeanor and his position as Ivanka's husband put him in a unique spot within the Trump family. As Ivanka's main confidant, he likely had a significant influence over her decisions, both personal and professional. But this also meant that Don Jr. and Eric may have felt sidelined or even threatened by his growing presence in the family's power structure. Contrasting public personas. The Trump siblings may share a last name, but their public personas couldn't be more different. Ivanka Trump, with her polished style and diplomatic charm, often comes across as the more refined member of the family. As a former fashion model and a senior advisor in her father's White House, Ivanka has carefully crafted an image of grace, intelligence, and high-end sophistication. Whether she's in the spotlight at a global summit or posing for a magazine cover,
Going out of business. Ivanka Trump's fashion line is closing up shop. The surprising move stunned the business world today.
Ivanka's public image is designed to appeal to both business elites and politically moderate voters. On the other hand, Donald Trump Jr. has cultivated a more brash, unapologetic persona. Known for his fiery social media posts and outspoken comments, Don Jr. embraces a tough guy image that speaks to the more populist wing of the Trump base. While Ivanka often takes the high road in public discussions, Don Jr. dives into the fray, defending his father and slamming his critics with aggressive rhetoric. This contrast in public personas has sometimes led to tension behind the scenes. Ivanka's measured approach to handling controversy is at odds with Don Jr.'s more confrontational style. While Ivanka has generally tried to maintain a positive image and protect the family's brand, Don Jr. has been unafraid to ruffle feathers, even if it means taking a more divisive stance. Despite their differing public approaches, both Ivanka and Don Jr. share an unshakable loyalty to their father and the Trump legacy, though how they choose to express it to the world couldn't be more different. Eric's loyalty to Ivanka. When it comes to family loyalty, Eric Trump's devotion to his sister Ivanka stands out. While all three of Donald Trump's eldest children are fiercely loyal to their father, Eric's bond with Ivanka is often highlighted as especially strong. Throughout their lives, Ivanka has been a guiding figure for Eric, particularly during the challenging years following their parents' divorce. As the youngest, Eric was just a child when their family went through such a public breakup, and Ivanka, always the protective older sister, took it upon herself to help him through it. Eric has often spoken highly of Ivanka, describing how she took him under her wing and showed him the ropes, not just in business, but in life. He has praised her as someone who always looks out for the family, making sure they're all on the same page, even when things get tough. As adults, their bond remained strong, and Eric has publicly defended Ivanka on numerous occasions, especially when she faced criticism during her time in the White House. Whether it was dealing with media scrutiny or navigating political challenges, Eric has never hesitated to show his support for his sister. He was quick to call out those who attacked Ivanka, defending her as an amazing talent and someone who was doing her best for the family and the country. In a world full of power struggles and rivalries, Eric's loyalty to Ivanka is a reminder that, sometimes, family really does come first. Ski slope competitions.
Now, check out first daughter Ivanka Trump skiing in Aspen with husband Jared Kushner and 5-year-old daughter Arabella.
The Trump siblings' ski slope competitions are the stuff of family legend. Growing up in the luxurious world of Manhattan high society, Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric were no strangers to competition. But it wasn't just about business deals or climbing the social ladder. It also extended to the ski slopes. One of the most talked about moments from their childhood involved the trio racing down the snowy hills of Aspen, where the stakes were high and the rivalry even higher. Ivanka, known for her competitive spirit, was a force to be reckoned with. But she didn't just want to win, she wanted to outshine everyone, including her brothers and even her dad. In one memorable story, a young Ivanka was skiing downhill when she realized her father, Donald Trump, had hooked his ski pole onto her jumpsuit, pulling her backward in an attempt to get ahead. Of course, it was all in good fun, but it was a clear sign of the fierce competition that ran through their family. Ivanka later recalled how competitive their family was, revealing that their father encouraged it, whether on the slopes or in the boardroom. The Trump kids grew up knowing that winning wasn't just an option, it was expected. Potential heirs to Trump legacy. When it comes to the future of the Trump legacy, many eyes are on Donald Trump's three oldest children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. The trio has spent years building the Trump brand, but as their father's political career soared, questions began swirling. Who will carry the Trump torch forward? Each sibling has made their mark in different ways, but one thing is clear. There's fierce competition behind the scenes about who might be the next heir to the Trump legacy. Donald Jr., as the eldest, has long been seen as the natural successor. He's been at his father's side for years, leading the Trump Organization's real estate ventures and making waves as an outspoken figure in politics. His public persona is tough and unapologetic, appealing to the more populist wing of the Trump base, making him a fan favorite among loyalists. Ivanka, however, brings a different edge to the table. With her polished image, strategic mindset, and time spent as a senior advisor in the White House, she's positioned herself as a key player in the family business and politics. Her more diplomatic approach appeals to a different group, those who seek a more moderate, refined presence in the Trump legacy. Then there's Eric, the youngest. While often quieter than his older siblings, Eric's loyal support for Ivanka and his role in the Trump Organization make him an important player too. As the potential heirs to the Trump empire, the battle for who will take the reins is only getting more intense. Demons have haunted people across the world for centuries. While skeptics dismiss these unsettling encounters as myths or medical conditions, they are actual evidence of demonic forces at play, and we have compiled the most terrifying demon possession moments caught on tape.
But demons are looking for two things, we discover. They're looking for what we call a legal right, which is the right to be there. They are also looking for what we call a stronghold. At least that's what the Bible calls it.
Each story will leave you completely shocked.
Why am I going first? Oh my God!
Are these battles between good and evil, or just moments designed to deceive the unsuspecting? Join us as we reveal the terrifying details of 15 demonic possessions caught on camera, the televised possession. This story takes us back to the early 1990s. A live TV broadcast shocked the world as priests battled to free 16-year-old Gina from what they believed were 10 terrifying demons. Gina was a country girl from Florida. She rolled and growled during the exorcism, her eyes burning with fury.
God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
According to eyewitnesses, Gina called two of the demons Zion and Minga.
Gina becomes more composed and is able to describe Zion and Minga, two of the 10 different entities she claims are controlling her.
She also shouted scary prophecies of war and destruction as the priests chanted prayers. The struggle lasted hours, with the priests claiming to feel the clash of good and evil. 2 months later, Gina said she felt much better, but her fate remains unknown today. Was this a genuine possession, or an exploitation of a troubled girl? The hatred in her eyes, the violent thrashing, and the perfect calm she sometimes displayed still haunt anyone who saw what happened back on that scary night. If you found Gina's story scary, the next one on our list will completely freak you out. The Chosen One. In this intense exorcism filmed among religious figures, a trembling woman fought against unseen forces as rabbis prayed. It began with a single rabbi kneeling before her. Then, the crowd chanted louder and louder. The woman screamed in agony, convulsing as the rabbis shook their fists, demanding the demon leave. The atmosphere grew tensed as her cries intensified, and the chanting reached an extreme level. At one moment, you will feel relieved. Relief sweeps through the faces of the people around her as if the possession is ending, but the video abruptly ends, leaving everyone with unanswered questions. Did the demon truly leave or stay hidden, waiting for another opportunity to attack? Sleep haunting. Dale Pendlebury thought his restless nights were just inadequate sleep until he set up a camera. Over several nights it captured horrifying events, his body being thrown around, demonic noises, and his haunting actions. One night, Dale sat bolt upright, staring blankly at the camera with wide open eyes before collapsing onto his bed. On the final night, his movements became even more disturbing. He gave a lifeless stare and strange behavior, just like one possessed by a demon. According to him, he felt haunted by a dark force, and he knew he was losing touch with reality. When the video got online, some viewers suggested that the footage is undeniable proof of possession, and Dale's vacant stare has shaken even the strongest people. TJ goes insane. At 3 a.m., Adam Park and his friends were gaming when strange noises started coming from T.J. S room. Curious and terrified, Adam recorded as the noises grew louder and more scary. Peeking into the hall, they heard demonic sounds that sent them fleeing in fear. They summoned courage and returned to find TJ acting like a beast, laughing, growling, and moving like an animal. His erratic behavior left everyone completely shocked. Was this a prank, a mental break, or a demonic possession? Even after calming him, TJ was never the same. According to experts who saw Adam's footage, it was a demonic attack. Adam confessed that the house felt cold and darker after that night. The unsettling sounds and TJ's demonic gaze remain an unbearable memory to all who witnessed it. TJ's story is nothing compared to this Pennsylvania couple's home haunted by 5 ghosts. Deanna Simpson's haunted home. Deanna Simpson's haunted home in Pennsylvania is a nightmare. Shadows dance in corners, ghostly voices whisper, and visitors feel unseen hands scratching them. A Fox News crew sent to investigate experienced it firsthand. A cameraman's wrist burned with an invisible force, leaving fresh marks. Deanna warned them the ghosts could possess anyone who got too close.
Deanna asked me, are you okay? Did you get scratched? And then I admitted, I noticed that I was like, yeah, this actually happened.
The reporter felt pinched, touched, and terrified as strange lights flickered in the house. Deanna herself claims to have been pushed downstairs and haunted by voices urging her closer. Could these spirits be biding their time to claim another victim? The house is alive with evil, and anyone who enters feels its dark grip. No visitors have escaped unshaken. Brandon versus Zozo. Brandon and his friends thought summoning spirits with an Ouija board was a joke until the board started answering. The spirit mocked them, spelling out disturbing words like no peace and no goodbye. Suddenly, Brandon's behavior changed. His laughter turned maniacal and unnatural, and his friends no longer recognized him. They claimed he was briefly possessed, lashing out violently.
That's still not funny after these. Hey.
Afterwards, Brandon seemed lost, a shadow of his former self. The friends never properly closed the ritual, and many believe this left Brandon vulnerable to the demonic force they summoned. That night, the dark energy in their home convinced many that Zozo, an evil spirit, had claimed another victim. Bob Larson's exorcisms. Reverend Bob Larson travels the United States, battling demons face-to-face in dramatic exorcisms. One possessed woman changed between cursing and speaking in tongues, her face twisted in rage. Bob's playful look shifted to fierce determination as he commanded the demon to leave.
For many generations, I commanded your
During another deliverance, a demon mocked Bob until it finally gave up, leaving the woman limp but freed. While skeptics argue these exorcisms are staged, believers claim they're evidence of spiritual warfare. The haunted expressions, growls, and transformations during Bob's sessions leave witnesses shaken. Whether real or fake, the fear is always present. What if demons truly exist, lurking unseen until their rage is unleashed?
But demons are looking for two things, we discover. They're looking for what we call a legal right, which is the right to be there. They are also looking for what we call a stronghold. At least that's what the Bible calls it.
Even unbelievers feel a cold shiver of fear when they watch his sessions. Bob Larson is not the only Christian leader who performs exorcism on our list. The next person is not who you think. Pope Francis's exorcism.
The Vatican has denied that this footage of Pope Francis shows him performing an exorcism on a disabled boy after taking Pentecostal Mass last Sunday.
This is Pope Francis. In a spontaneous moment at St. Peter's Square, Pope Francis laid hands on Angel, a man tormented by demons since 1999. As the Pope prayed, Angel's face twisted in pain, his body convulsing as if battling unseen forces. Witnesses claimed the demon was resisting, boiling under Angel's skin. Angel slumped in relief when the Pope finished, but his torment wasn't over. After 30 exorcisms failed, the Pope couldn't banish the evil entirely. Some dismissed it as hysteria or mental illness, but others saw undeniable proof of possession. What hope remains for others if the Pope's blessings couldn't free Angel? The encounter left onlookers questioning the limits of faith against the relentless grip of the spirit world. Rural possession. This scary tape is from the 1970s. This demon-possessed man is enduring unspeakable torment. The footage begins with him lying in bed, breathing heavily as a door creaks open. Then he starts ripping his fingernails off, one by one, grinning through the pain. His demonic laughter sounded as he slashed his face and throat with a razor. Bloodied and disfigured, he stares into the camera, smiling creepily. The man's troubled look and evil grin suggest something far worse than madness. Whatever was inside him caused him much suffering. The laughing victim. In this Brazilian hospital, a man shot in the face defied all logic. Despite his injuries, he stood, laughing hysterically and screaming like a madman. He growled, twisted his body like a snake, and claimed Lucifer possessed him. Witnesses watched in horror as the man defied gravity, leaning backwards without falling. Bloodied and wild-eyed, he fought anyone who approached. Was this possession, adrenaline, or drugs? Even professional doctors were shaken, unable to explain his condition and endless strength. His scary laughter and claim of demonic control left no doubt in many minds. Whether medical anomaly or actual possession, the man's behavior remains a terrifying event. The Prince of Darkness himself may have been laughing through him that day. Possession of Maurice Thurell. Maurice Thurell was a tomato farmer who lived a quiet life with his family until strange things started happening. He blacked out and bled from his eyes, and his wife saw two versions of him in different places at once. Blood mysteriously appeared in their home, and voices were heard without anyone around. Desperate, they turned to Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous paranormal investigators who believed demons possessed Maurice. In 1985, Bishop Robert McKenna performed an exorcism. During the ritual, Maurice's skin bubbled and cracked, and a deep gash appeared on his head. His eyes turned serpent-like, and he collapsed after the prayer. Miraculously, his skin cleared, and peace returned for a while. Years later, Maurice tragically lost control, trying to kill his wife before taking his own life.
He's going to put the gun in his mouth, he's not going to put the gun in his mouth. And I just sat there. Finally, he got the gun in his mouth, he pulled the trigger.
Did the demons ever truly leave? But Michael Taylor's possession coming up next sounds even more tragic. Michael Taylor, the man with 40 demons. Michael Taylor was a family man in England. He joined a church group to find peace. Instead, he became obsessed with the group's leader, Marie Robinson, which strained his marriage. One day, his wife accused him of infidelity in public, and Michael exploded with uncontrollable rage. It is evident that he was possessed, and local priests performed an exorcism. Over 8 hours, they expelled 40 demons, including ones of blasphemy and bestiality, but 3 remained: anger, murder, and insanity. When exhausted, the priests sent Michael home, planning to finish the exorcism later. But just 2 hours after returning, Michael brutally killed his wife, tearing her apart with his bare hands, and destroyed their family dog. Found naked and soaked in blood, Michael claimed, "It's the blood of Satan." While we await more proven answers to these puzzling events, thank you for staying with us. Which of the demonic possession stories do you find most disturbing? Share your opinions with us in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.